Hi friends, let us learn a new poem, My Mother by Rabindranath Tagore. Tagore needs no introduction. You know who our Rabindranath Tagore is. Of course, above all his achievements, our national anthem, Jana Gana Mana, was written by him. Actually, he did not write Jana Gana Mana. It is the first part of a poem by him, Bharado Bhagya Vidhata. In addition to poems, he wrote a good number of short stories and novels too. Some of his stories very interesting. Postmaster Kabuliwala. The story Kabuliwala is there in the shape of a video uploaded in SGK English. You can see that. Okay, so he is a representative of ancient Indian culture too. Ancient Indian culture. His collection of poems by name Geetanjali won Nobel Prize in the year 1913. Yes. So he represents India in every way. Okay, he was a freedom fighter, but unfortunately he could not see the bright morning of India's independence because his period was 1861 to 1941. He could not see the bright morning of India's independence. So, some of his poems, especially the prayer, see, he says, where the mind is without fear and head is held high, where knowledge is free, into that heaven of freedom, O Father, let my country wake. So he had a vision of independent India. How our mother India should be. A vision of independent India. Into that heaven of freedom, O Father, means God Almighty, let my country wake. So famous poems, a poem it is. In that way many poems are there. Today let us study, let us learn a poem, My Mother. So let us come directly into the poem. I cannot remember my mother. It is narrated by a boy who lost his mother years ago, long before even in his childhood. And he says that I cannot remember my mother. Yes, no one shall ever forget his mother. So it is a symbolism in a way. We see what is that? Only sometime in the midst of my play, but still in the middle of my play, while playing, a tune seems to hover over my playthings. I feel that a tune seems to hover, means moving around my playthings, just like the tune of some song that she used to hum. It seems to be like exactly like the song she used to hum, humming sound, not singing actually. The tune is being hummed, isn't it so? Humming of bees, the words not being spoken, but the sound, the tune is being hummed, isn't it so? So the rocking of the cradle, the most sweet, a song in the entire universe is the rocking of the cradle. A mother slowly rocks the cradle of the child and sings a song. Sometimes humming. See, in that way, the song is being hummed, not being sung. The humming sound I feel. You see, the tune of some song that she used to hum while rocking my cradle. See, during the time when she rocks my cradle, a famous song is there. same tune. So in the same way, she hums, she makes maybe some music while rocking the cradle. That tune I feel when in the midst of my play. During my play, in the midst of my playing, a tune seems to hover over my playthings. I feel that the same tune I heard while my mother was singing. The songs to make me sleep, rocking the cradle. Okay, now cradle means uyala. Okay, so the sweetest song ever is a rocking of the cradle by mother or any mother. So it's a tribute paid to the mother, means all the mothers. So the first line is, I cannot remember my mother. The poet does not mean that the child has completely forgotten his mother. See, what does it mean? It means that no one can ever forget his mother. Which means the mother is everywhere. Even while playing, I feel that music, her presence, the presence of my mother, I feel always and everywhere, even while playing. I repeat, even while playing, I feel the music that she used to sing. You see, it is still hovering around me. You see, wherever I go, whenever I play, especially when I play, see that once again, only sometimes in the midst of my play, in the midst of is in the middle of, in the midst of my play, see during my play, in the middle of my play, while playing, a tune appears to hover over, to move around my playthings. Is it not so? Yes, I feel it is moving around. See, means remaining in the air. Remaining is given there. To remain in the air. The entire place is filled with the tune of my mother while singing to make me sleep. That means even while playing, I feel the presence of my mother. Even while playing, I feel the presence of my mother. My mother is everywhere. Yes. So every son, daughter, every child will have a strong relation with his or her mother. Let me ask you one thing. See, what is your mother to you? Tell me. What is your mother to you? To some she is a friend. To some she is a guardian. To some she is a protector. To some she is a symbol of love. And I may say, incarnation of love. Mother is the incarnation of love. Avadaram. See, incarnation means avadaram. See, just incarnated as love. Next only to God's love. God loves us all, each and every one. We believe, and we believe it. We have not seen, but mother we see every day. We feel her presence, we feel her sacrifices, we feel her love. I say mother is an incarnation of love. There is nothing which can be compared with the love of a mother. That's why I say incarnation of love. Love incarnated. Yes, a boy who lost his mother long ago now says that I cannot remember my mother. It's only vague. Means not clear. Vivid means very clear. Opposite vague. V-A-G-U-E. A vague remembrance I have got. Still, I feel the presence of my mother. Even while playing, I feel the presence of my mother. The tune she used to sing to make me sleep, I feel. Where do I feel? Over my playthings, everywhere. The things that I use for playing. My dolls, my balls, all those things I use for playing. I feel the presence of my mother through the tune. I feel the tune is in the air, remaining in the air, moving around, like a tune moving around. I feel my mother is there everywhere. I cannot remember my mother. Again he says, stanza number 2. But when in the early autumn morning, the season of autumn, the early autumn morning, the smell of the, shiuli flowers, fragrance, sweet smell. The sweet smell of flowers, shiuli flowers, floats in the air. When I get the fragrance of, sweet smell of, the flowers in the air, the scent of the morning service in the temple, the scent, the smell of morning service in the temple, especially camphor, camphor, is it not so? Yes, when you go to pray, the temple, it will be there. Okay, now very often. Okay, so that sweet smell, the fragrance, when I get either from the flowers or from the temple, temple comes to me as a scent of my mother. Then I feel that it is a smell, the presence of my mother. The sweet smell from the flowers, the fragrance of the flowers, when I get, I feel it is a smell of my mother. My mother is there everywhere. Though she is not present physically, I feel my mother everywhere. She is everywhere. She is part of this nature. I can never forget. Though he says, I cannot remember. What he means is that I can never forget. No one can ever forget. No one can ever forget. We can never forget our mother. Number one, when does he remember? Whenever he plays, among the playthings, he feels the tune of his mother's song that she used to sing while making him sleep. Secondly, when I get the autumn season, see, the fragrance of flowers come to me. You see, when the fragrance, sweet smell, comes to me, I feel the presence of my mother. Or the fragrance which I receive from the nearby temple. See, I feel it is a smell of my mother. I feel the presence of my mother. I cannot remember my mother. Again, it's a tribute paid to the mother or all mothers. You can never forget service of your mother. She is willing to sacrifice her life for you. Sacrificing a lot, mother and father too. They won't tell you how they sacrifice for you. They are willing to forego all their comforts and luxuries for your sake. Don't think that the money that they spend for you is coming from heaven or simply freely got. It's a set of their, hard work. Yes, I do remember once a 9th class student on his birthday. I asked, he told me it is his birthday. Then I asked him, yes, why no sweets? There was no sweets with him. Then he told me, I don't want to waste my father's hard-earned money. I will never forget in my life. I don't want to waste my father's hard-earned money. Have you ever felt like that? It is hard-earned money that you are spending. You have to feel that. You have to feel that. You have to understand that. The difficulty behind all the sacrifices that they undertake for you. Mother and father too. Yes, hear the poem. I cannot remember my mother only when from my bedroom window, I send my eyes into the blue of the distant sky, blue sky, into the horizon. When I open the windows and look outside in the sky, blue of the distant sky, blue sky, the horizon. Yes, I feel that the stillness of my mother's gaze. Then I feel my mother is looking towards me. My mother is looking towards me. See, Tagore can be called a nature poet, Indian writer, but of all, Wordsworth is really a nature poet. He says nature has a corrective influence on man. You look at the sky, you can feel like a grandfather, is it? The sky will look at you and scold you if you make a mistake. Nature has a corrective influence on man. The same way here, when I open my windows and look outside, I feel that my mother is looking at me. Yes, whenever I look out into the horizon, I feel, how do I feel? I feel that the stillness of my mother's gaze. Yes, gaze means look. In the same way that my mother looks, see, I can feel that stillness, that silence. See, my mother will always be looking at me. That stillness, that silent look, I can feel whenever I look outside into the sky. Where do I look? Yes, when from my bedroom window, when I open my windows of my bedroom and send my eyes, means I look out into the blue of the distant sky, into the blue sky, into the sky, into the horizon. When I look, I feel, what do I feel? I feel that the stillness means silence of my mother's gaze. See, my mother will be silently looking at me, watching me. That gaze, that look I feel on my face, gaze on my face has spread. That stillness of her look, you see, towards me and looking on my face, it has spread all over the sky. That stillness has spread all over the sky. Yes, when I look into the sky, I can feel that stillness of my mother's look on my face is spread all over the sky, on the entire sky. That means I feel my mother's presence even there when I look into the sky. She is everywhere. That is a summary of this poem. She is everywhere. I can feel her presence everywhere. Even when I play, you see, I can feel the tune of her, song. Even when I get the fragrance from the flowers as well as from the temple, I feel the smell of my mother. When I look out through the windows of my room, my bedroom, even then I feel, what do I feel? The stillness of my mother's gaze or look. It has spread all over the sky. I can feel that even there in the sky. See, from my playthings up to the horizon, up to the sky, I can feel the presence of my mother. How can I forget my mother? I can never forget my mother. That's the meaning of it. Though I may not have a clear picture view of my mother because she died years and years before, she is still there with me. I can feel her everywhere. Even my playthings, even the sweet fragrance of the flowers as well as the fragrance from the nearby temple. And even looking from the bedroom to the sky, towards the sky, I can feel the presence of my mother. The poem is a tribute paid to the narrator's mother as well as to all the mothers. As well as to all the mothers. Yes, mother is there everywhere. You can never forget your mother. You can never forget your mother. You see? Yes. Once again, from the beginning, I cannot remember my mother. Only sometime in the midst of my play, a tune seems to hover over my playthings. The tune of some song that she used to hum while rocking my cradle. I cannot remember my mother, but in the early autumn morning, the smell of the shiuli flowers floats in the air. The scent of the morning service in the temple comes to me as a scent of my mother. I cannot remember my mother. Only when from my bedroom window I send my eyes into the blue of the distant sky, I feel that the stillness of my mother's gaze on my face has spread all over the sky. In this way, Rabindranath Tagore pays tribute to all the mothers. That is summary of the story of the poem, My Mother. I hope it is clear to you. For more updates, subscribe to the channel SGK English. Thank you.